Peace, y'all. So today we're going to be talking about goddess of water, fertility gardens, Buke. I think I'm saying her name right. Y'all know I do not know the names, but we're going to try and do the best that we can, right? So in this story, heaven and earth are linked together by a rope, and Buke and her husband, Gardenia, I believe that's his name, Garrigang, excuse me. Buke and her husband, Garrigang, are basically the first people. So as the first people, God allowed them to have one Malay to plant a day. So they're planting one Malay a day, one Malay a day, one Malay a day. And the food was not enough, so they almost starved. That's when Buke decided to plant more Malay a day. And when God saw this, he basically cut off the rope between earth and the heavens. Oh, actually, there's a funny part in the story, and that funny part in the story is when Buke accidentally hits God in the face with the hoe because she's so focused on planting this Malay so that her and her husband don't starve, right? And it's when God gets hit in the face with the stick of the hoe that he severs the ties between heaven and earth. And when he severs the ties between heaven and earth, two things happen. One, God decided not to basically be attached to human affairs. And two, Buke basically saves humanity from starvation and self-determination and gives humanity self-determination. So this is truly a story of humans being able to do for self. I would say more of like interdependence, and as tricky as it might sound, the story sounds kind of tricky to me, because oh my God, you hit God in the face with the stick of a hoe, right? How crazy is that? But her defying God actually did more good than bad, which is very, very interesting in the story. There's actually another story as well. What I'll do is just say it word for word. Another legend concerning how earth and heaven became separated concerns a frightful figure called Iwadurajok. In this myth, a Buk or Buke was the creator of humanity, forming them from softened fat and sending them across the bridge connecting heaven and earth. When she went to get more wood for the fire to soften more fat, Iwa Durjak sneaked into her hearth and created horribly deformed humans. When he realized that a Buke was returning soon, he fled to earth below and persuaded a little bird to bite the path between heaven and earth in half, thus permanently severing the two. Once on earth, Iwa Durjak brought a huge pot of fat to a boil, into which he tossed the deformed humans who met horrible deaths. Buke also had another lover, the rain god Deng. For this reason, she is also associated with water. They had two daughters together, Candid and Nealit, who both drowned and became divine. Candid returned to Earth for a short time in order to establish her lineage amongst the humans, but afterwards returned to her home. Okay, so she's not only connected to fertility of the earth, but also fertility in women. Her symbols include the moon, snake, and sheep. Sheep, especially, were often sacrificed to her, and the sheep were actually drowned in rivers because, as a water goddess, she received offerings placed in her waters. I also find interesting, like if you notice in the story about the Queen of Cups, Marwe, she drowned also, and it seems that when people drown in these stories, they actually benefit greatly. There's great treasures of knowledge down in the depths of the water. Also, if you hear people describe the difference between Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, you'll hear people talk about Scorpio being the depths of the water, the deeper hidden knowledge, secrecy. You can imagine the amount of pressure and how dark it is at the bottom of the ocean. So drowning has a very different idea than we would normally think in Western society. It's a deeper meaning than just death, right? maybe the death of your lack of understanding. Also, what I find interesting too is how, you know, you never hear about this goddess, and her story would just be so interesting to add into your readings, depending on what other story other people are going through or what's happening with them, because you know it's not just water, it's not just like everlasting love or an abundance of money or whatever, and a yes answer, right? But there's actually a story of maybe protection with women here, or gardening, fertility, making the decision to not just go and abide by the rules, but going by your rules and achieving great things by going by your rule, which is so against Christian doctrine, right? But it was this decision that she made that, in this story, right, saved humanity. So that's something to definitely meditate on and to think about. I would definitely read the story for myself. I will have the notes and stuff available to you guys, not as soon as this video uploads, but if you subscribe and wait, then I will definitely have a video letting you guys know when the information will be out, all the information that I've been able to research, okay? So, all right. Peace, and I hope you enjoyed the Ace of Cups story with the beautiful goddess Abuk or Buke.